The Inkatha Freedom Party says it does not subscribe to the notion of Africa without borders, as this will result in anarchy. That emerged as the International Relations Cluster tabled its adopted policies on the party's policy conference in Mbangeni in KwaZulu-Natal. The party has called for a two-state solution to the Israeli-Palestine conflict as well. Ntando Mnyandu is there. You're standing by to speak to party officials. Good afternoon, Ntando.
Well, good afternoon to you, Tutuzile, and to all viewers at home. As you have correctly put it, you know that this conference is at its climax, with different commissions and plenaries, coming to report back on quite a number of issues that delegates here have deliberated on, coming up with quite a number of policy positions that the party will adopt and will be announced by the party's president as the conference draws to a close. But particularly what we have witnessed now is that two classes, one discussing issues of international relations and home affairs, and the other discussing issues of governance, have come out with quite a number of positions. But to tell us more about that, I'm now joined by Reverend Musa Zondi, who was heading the cluster discussing issues of international relations and home affairs. Nondaba, you've correctly stated that as the IFP, you promote a two-state solution to the Israeli-Palestine conflict currently underway. What informed that decision, and what other, resolutions that you have come out in your different plenary sessions?
Yes, it is correct that we propose and we stick by the two-state solution because it was originally proposed by the Palestinian people themselves. They have not informed the international community that they've abandoned that option. We remember fondly that the late leader of the Palestinian Authority, Yasser Arafat, went down to his grave calling for the implementation of a two-state solution. We also think that it is the only viable solution at this point in time because it affirms the existence of both the Palestinian state with full rights of a state living side by side with the state of Israel. And that has been the international community's broad-based support for the solution for the conflict in the Middle East.
You have also called on, or you have spoken against Africa without borders, saying that South Africa will find itself being the only recipient of other nationals flocking into our country, as we are currently facing a high number of undocumented foreign nationals who are in our borders. What influenced that position, and what do you think should be a solution?
We think that the borders should remain. In fact, they should be strengthened. And correctly so, because you say in our own assessment, if we removed colonial borders, as other parties are saying, colonial borders have outlived their usefulness. We just want to remind them that in 1969, there was a Lusaka Manifesto of the Organization of African Unity, which, amongst other things, have called upon Southern African states and borders, which were drawn primarily by colonialists, to remain in place in order to avoid chaos that would be resultant if the borders were removed. And therefore, both the OAU and the African Union, even though it promotes integration, it does not go as far as doing away with the borders. And we feel that in our own assessment, if we removed the South Africa borders, we would be the country that would be flooded and be overwhelmed by people coming into our own country.
Thank you very much, Nondaba. But now let me bring in Mr. Xolani Ngwezi, who was heading the governance, commission. You're speaking on the issue of devolution of power. You're speaking to the issue of that the one-size-fits-all allocation of budgets must be scrapped and done away with. What informs that, and what do you think should be a solution, Mr. Ngwezi?
Well, thank you very much. It's the IFP's belief that more powers should be devolved to the spheres that are closest to the people. And remember that we believe so because the existence of Chapter 2 and Chapter 7 of the Constitution of the Republic of South Africa is an IFP baby. And so all we are saying is that more powers must be given to the local spheres of government so that we fast-track service delivery to our people. The other issue is that the equitable share is basically not equitable, because what the equitable share does, it gives very little budget to smaller municipalities, especially municipalities in the rural areas. It doesn't consider issues of neediness, whether that municipality is needy or it is not. So when things keep on doing like this, actually services are more demanding in the rural areas, and rural areas or rural municipalities still bear the burden of living in the backwardness in terms of service delivery as compared to urban areas. So we are proposing that really we address the issue of the equitable share. It shouldn't be the one size fit all. We should consider a municipality by municipality in terms of its neediness.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ngozi.
Thank you very much, Siyabonga.
Well, that's how things are at the moment in this policy conference of the Inkatha Freedom Party, and with that, it's back to you in studio.
Thank you very much for that report.